What's going on, guys? Welcome to a live stream session with your boy Phrankleen. If you're watching these as a playback, thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time coming across my video, thank you for stopping by too. So, welcome to Storytime. Storytime is a segment where people send me their stories to my email at foodchannel1960@gmail.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, look in the description below. You find my email address. And if they resonate with me, I basically, will convert the story to a live stream session or a pre-recorded, video like this one. What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Right, hit the like button. We just basically just started. All right. So, there's been a lapse in my uploads of my live stream sessions. So I'm just basically trying to get back. So, to get more content out and stuff like that, man. So yeah, Mbali, I'm gonna get back to you, okay? I've got your email in my inbox, just so you know I've not forgotten you. I will get back to you, I promise. Just bear with me. T, what's going on, sis? Common Sense Sisters. How's a coffee? I want me. Right, so let's do this. Today's story is I like the way the brother, who sent me this, straight to the point, no waffle, just really succinct. I love it. Sometimes I get stories whereby, and I understand, when it's people's personal experience, they sometimes might just go in numerous paragraphs, and then I have to skip through and try to condense, and I bring the story to you. But this one was bang, 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 straight to the point. You can sort of just fill in the gaps in your mind. All right. Right. Before I crack on, there's about 78 people okay, you know what, man? Maybe should I talk about it now or a bit later? But before I crack on, let me just do it now. So this episode is sponsored by Adron Homes, okay? Adron Homes, basically, I'm going to share my screen. If you watch my last live stream, I'm a partner with them. They're into real estate. A lot of us that live in the West, you've been banging on about wanting investments back home in Nigeria. We're sick and tired of hearing stories about maybe the Chinese or other people coming through the back door, hijacking our lands. Some of you are unable to, you would love to invest rather than have your money piling up in the banks and stuff like that. It's nice to put your money in land whereby the value guarantee goes that way. All right. I have partnered with them. A couple of days ago, I did a live stream where I talked purely about, Adron Homes buying your property at about 20% discount. There's a massive offer going on at the moment. And in response to that, I had loads of people bombarded me with emails. Thank you for the expression of interest. Some of you have told me you're interested in buying, and I've been going back and forth with you via email. So let's get that out of the way very, 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 very quickly. All right. So check this out.
Adron Homes, making the incredible affordable.
So that's one. I'm going to play you another one. All right. Right. So let me just show you very quickly because, this is a live stream. It might prove a bit challenging, but bear with me. All right. So you're going to find me ever so often talking about this because I'm in partnership with them. All right. So if you're interested, look at my email address on the screen, Food Channel 1960. So I'm going to provide you something very quickly before we go on with today's story. All right. Just give me 1 second. Right. So I'm trying to talk about this very quickly, and then we'll go on with the story. Now, so if you can see my screen, or I'm sharing my screen with you now. These are some of the offers going on. All right. So basically, if you're interested, send me your email to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. And yeah, you can start. You can own a piece of land for as minimum of deposit of 25,000 naira, and you can pay within 24 months. You can put down a deposit of 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, a million, or 2 million. It's basically, there's no pressure, but at the very minimum, you can pay 25,000 naira deposit, and you carry on paying for. There is a promo going on at the moment. Was a 24 months payable term. You get 20% discount, 30% discount, also payable in 24 months, or 40% discount that you can pay within 12 months. Now, in order for you to, if you are interested in getting any of the gifts that you can see listed above the screen, right, you're going to have to go for the 20% offer. Does that make sense? But if you're not interested in any of the gifts, you can go for the 40% or the 30%. All right. And these are the locations where you've got the land. And like I said before, I'll say very quickly for the benefit of these live stream, I am your agent. I am partnered with Adron Homes. It's a reputable company in Nigeria. Okay. So you're not paying to Phrankleen, to be clear. You're basically, I'll process your application. I'll give you the application form and stuff. You'll be paying directly into the organization's business account. So my job is to collect necessary information. You give me your proof of payment. I reconcile your payments with the relevant department. I chase up on your documentations. If you buy your land outrightly, chase up on your paperwork. Make sure that you get everything. All right. They've got lands in these locations. Now, in order for you to be able to have a look and see if you're interested, send an email to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. That's my email address on the screen, okay? And you can ask me your questions. If you are done, once you're done paying for your parcel of land or lands, depending on what you can afford, you get your documents, deed of assignment, your official purchase invoice, purchase receipt, your contract of sale, your provisional letter of allocation. Now, you can do one of two things with this land. This is the beautiful thing. Rather than have your money pile up in the bank doing nothing for you, you can basically, let me stop the screen so you can see my face. Now, very quickly, you can basically invest in this land. What do I mean? You buy a land knowing fully well that the appreciation goes like that. Within a year to 18 months and stuff, the values, they keep going up, right? Rather than you having £5,000, £3,000 just sitting in the bank, if it's not doing anything for you, unnecessary expenditure, even you yourself might end up digging into that money. The banks are not going to give you enough return on your money. I'm sure a lot of you know that already. And this is how you can have your own assets, gradually build your own portfolio. And particularly if you've got children and you're thinking about their future, this is one of the easiest ways for you to pass on assets. Now, one of two options: you can invest, buy the land, watch your portfolio grow. If you decide to discard the land tomorrow, easily sell them off. And if you then like the estates, because trust me, all of the estates are beautiful, and then you decide that, oh, I'd like to build a home on one of my lands, great. All you have to do is just carry out what I call expression of interest. Now, There is then a developmental fee, which is like a one-off fee, depending on the location of your land, which will be stipulated in your contract of sale. And then once you've paid at least 80% of that money to Adron Homes, you can start building your home, and then within the agreed timelines, you pay the remaining balance, and that's it. There is no waterlogged lands. There is no amonile, all these miscreants and dodginess issues. It's one of the best companies in Nigeria with a fantastic reputation. Now, Phrankleen is your agent, okay? Like I said, you're not paying a dime to me directly. I do all the administrative, side of things, reconciling your payments, making sure you get your necessary paperwork, dealing with your concerns, your questions, and that's it, okay? Think about it. foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Send me an email and let's take it from there, okay? Now, enough of the waffle. Thank you for listening to that bit. So let's talk about today's story. Okay, so I'm going to read the story to you now. foodchannel1960@gmail.com, or you can look in the description below. You see my email, all right? And please click the like button as we crack on with the story session. Now, somebody said, is that price inclusive of survey and deed of assignment? Yes, if you express interest to build on your land, right? The one-off fee that you end up paying, right? That includes your survey, that includes your architectural design, your structural designs, money for security, and a host of fantastic things that you would expect to benefit from if you're building within the confines of an estate. Most of them, they got police stations nearby, well secured. No Tom, Dick, and Harry can barge into there. You get 24 hours electricity. So what you're buying into makes sense. All right. That's it. So yeah. So this brother said, "Hi Phrankleen, started watching your show about 2 years ago. I think the first one I stumbled on YouTube was when you talked about being confident and removing toxic friends from one's lives. Well done for the job you're doing. Thank you. Marvelous. It's quite encouraging." Somebody said, need this for Ghana. I'm afraid they currently do not offer anything in Ghana at the moment. Maybe in the near future. Just purely in Nigeria. If you're interested, send me an email and I'll forward you the flyers, okay? I have a short story which has been on my mind and would probably stay in the memory forever. These experience continues to affect my mood, sometimes when dealing with my families, but to some extent, I always let love lead. It's not easy. Okay. I know you've done several topics in relation to what Mbali, thank you very much. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you for the super chat. I know you've done several topics in relation to what I'm about to share, but wanted to share my experience anyways. Perhaps it'd be of help to the newbies who find themselves in greener pastures. Greener pastures being living abroad, right? So, came to the UK to study. After my study, I relocated to North America. Before relocating, I sent about £2,600 to my dad's bank account. At the time, it was he said it was equivalent of about 650,000 Nigerian naira. It was back in 2011, so this is a while back. He said the purpose was to buy a car for a taxi business, which makes sense. The brother sent money home to his pops and hoping that they can help keep an eye on the taxi, and so that can generate, money on a daily basis, and he can start, piling that on. Whilst we might be looking at, oh, this happened roughly 10 years ago, what tends to happen with these issues is they are life-shattering. They are known, especially when you're let down, they are known. Sorry for the diversion, man. Somebody's thank you for the super chat. Question: what kind of house would you like to build? Answer: well, actually, I'm a man of God. That's actually funny, man. Waiting the sub Franco. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat, man. That cracks me up. So the essence of these stories is when people go through these ugly experiences, it doesn't even matter if it happened a decade ago, people tend to internalize, the very, very bad outcome of those, experiences, especially when they emanated from your loved ones, like your siblings, your mom and dad, and things like that. In your guaduni, they go on forever. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And usually when there isn't any remedy and closure, or even particularly the culprits are not even trying to resolve, they're not showing remorse. So it's very easy for people to internalize what's happened 10 years ago and it's still in them. They've not recovered emotionally, if that makes sense. So let me crack on. The purpose was to build, as I said, buy a car for a taxi business. I was advised by my dad to buy a piece of land instead, but I insisted as I wasn't, ready. Thank you, Laba's World. Thank you for the super chat. I wasn't ready to build. I'd prefer a taxi business instead. I'd hoped the profit from the business would provide means for buying a land in future, which was a clever idea, right? The car was eventually bought and used for a taxi business. The supervision of the business was left with my dad. I made a mistake by not spelling out the terms of the business. Epic failure. At least you recognize that now. In terms of where the proceeds from the business should be saved, all right? So you exposed yourself, you just left the car in daddy's hands, and then you counted on Sky Daddy to miraculously help daddy to behave properly with money coming into his hands on a daily basis. You failed. Now, this is partly because I trusted my dad to be able to say, I've made this much from the business. What do you want me to do with the money? Assumption. Before we can call him your dad, he's first of all a human being like you. He's got blood running through his veins. He's able to commit crimes. He's not superhuman. He hasn't got battery pack in his back. He's human just like you. Because somebody is your father or because they are your mom doesn't mean they're not capable of crimes. Remove the sentiment. Right. Plus, the way I was raised, I was scared to ask on the progress report. Understandably so. That's your pops. If you ask too much, they will flip the script on you and call you disrespectful. I know that too well. Had I thought it through, I would not have asked my dad to oversee the business or even send the money for the business in the first place. I perceived asking my dad questions on the business may come across as disrespectful. There you go. I used to and still send money to my dad and families in spite of what has happened. Is that right? Oh, you follow? One day, after a few years, I summoned the courage to ask, oh, wow, one day after a few years. So you basically, of course, you dumped a car in your father's hands for a few years. You didn't have the courage to stop him in his tracks and to hold him accountable on a daily or weekly or fortnightly basis to see how much your taxi was bringing in. One day after a few years, I summoned the courage to ask a question on the phone. Dad, I want to know how far with my car business. Dad answered, the money for the car has been given to your elder brother, the firstborn. The money was given to your older brother because he's the firstborn. So we decided to violate you completely, trample upon your person, spit on your integrity, and give the money to your older brother because I am your father. And I can decide on your finance and do as I wish. I'm also immune to going to jail because this is Africa. Yadaba. Franconero. It'll be like a three-headed dragon in that room. It'll be like World War III about to start. Furniture be flying, man. Oh, snap. Let me drink some coffee, man. My show. So, said, Dad answered, yeah, I gave the money to your elder brother when he was struggling, to help him find his footings. Is that right? Oh, no, tutu. If I show for me, fairly weary. You want to see crazy? Oh, jigby. Subsequently, I was angry by my dad's response. He shouted, Lancy, happy springtime, Phrankleen. Cheers. Thank you for the super chat, man. The crispy $30 just caught my attention, man. Thank you, brother. Is it Lancy is a man or a woman? But thank you anyway. Salute. Appreciate you. Fairly weary. Oh, right, let me compose myself. I had thought it through. Where am I? Okay, here we are. Dad answered, the money from the car had been given to my brother. Subsequently, I was angry by my dad's response. He shouted at me on the phone and cut the phone, as they normally do. Very aggressive. Cut the phone. Put the phone down. How dare you? I gave the money to your brother. I would curse you, my fake we run just yeah. Holy. Oh, that's it off. Oh, jigby. Yeah, Deba. He shouted at me, cut the phone off. I didn't know what to do. Spoke to my other older brother about it, and he advised me to forget the money, saying, have I not made more monies since staying abroad? Do you see the audacity of these people? He tried to consult his older brother, the other older brother that he's got. And it was basically from frying pan to fire, because that one simply said, oh, forget about the money. Haven't you made more money, whilst you are abroad? That's why I keep saying, but fairly willy, you want to see crazy. Oh, jibby. Let me crack on. Forgive me. Let me get my professionalism together. Spoke to my other elder brother about it. He advised me to forget about the money, saying, haven't I made more money since staying abroad? The statement even got me angrier. I had to cook up a story that I needed my money back to face immigration costs. So a few thousands was sent to me as part of a refund. After this, I had to tell Dad through my elder brother. He didn't even have the balls of steel to directly tell his dad. He had to use one of his elder brothers to tell the dad. Umashio. Unaccountable is a feature of Nigerian parents. Thank you, Corey, for the super chat. So he got frustrated. He used his other elder brother to tell the dad to forget the repayment. After a few months, I had since given back the money sent to me in the form of a gift to them. I used to and still send money to my dad and families in spite of what has happened, but just want to tell this story to warn other newbies who may be thinking of entrusting their monies into the hands of families. Now I trust no one, not even my dad, with money. Many thanks. I'm not going to say, the name. That's the story. So I am basically just going to, put my own I'm just going to put my own print on the story, right? So you get the gist. You get the gist. Now, again, these stories, they come up all the time, man. They hit my inbox all the time, 24/7. Like the other day, I digress very quickly. There's a gentleman, 52-year-old. In 8 years' time, this man is going to be a 60-year-old man. This is somebody who is already in the evening part of his life. 52, 5'2". And then he emailed me, sent me this story about Phrankleen. I went through hell in England. I got to the UK in my very late 30s, and I spent more than a decade plus chasing papers. I mean, you understand the drill, right? So the man got his papers not too long ago. He was already almost 50 before he managed to get his papers sorted. Whilst he was living in the shadow of the system, he had sent home truckload of money that he managed to make from all sorts of, you can imagine, 2-3 types of jobs that he was running together whilst living in the shadow of the system. You get the gist, right? And guess what? 52-year-old man, his dad is is elderly. I think the man's 80 now or something. Conspired with his two brothers. They actually built the house at first, and then they sold it and split the money 3 ways. Boy, you see, the rage that went through me just reading this. There is the empathy, of course, that I feel for people. It's absolutely painful. It's like a crude knife slit that digs into the core of your soul, your heart as a human being. It's very painful. It's very, very, very painful. It hurts. It goes deep. And then you have some self-appointed elders within the family. And then they'll tell you stuff about Egbafolon. Basically, I'm speaking Yoruba. They'll say to you, let go and let God. So what does that even mean? Forgive me. Me. That's why the Gafa, thank you for the super chat. That's why I don't, I would never find myself involved in swindling anybody. So when somebody dupes me, I'm telling you, man, it activates every fiber in my body. I'm like a dog with a bone. I am the guy that can chase a pound with 1,000 pounds. You get that figure of speech? I don't let go. When you violate me, I don't care if you're family. Because look at this story, the first story, right? The young man is abroad, like many of us. He deemed it fit to create a channel of having a second stream of income or something for himself, making a good use of the dual nationality. He's living somewhere and he's clearly emanated from Nigeria, thinking you can count on your father. Say, help me do X, Y, Z. They divert your money to your older brother. They have the audacity to even bully you. Some of them threaten you with curses and all that. And one of the most painful things, and let me tell you this for free. Some of you might be watching this. Let me just tell you for free, because it's the same in all families. When your family members, I don't care who they are, maybe your mom, your dad, or your brother, when they dupe you, they rob you blind. And then you carry on. You even tell them to leave it, and then you carry on like you're a gentle soul. You carry on them, bombarding them with gifts and further monies. I think you're just, in a nutshell, you're pretty much displaying yourself as an absolutely stupid human being. They look at you like this is a classic example of a human being that's suffering from judgmental poverty. They just look at you, they will laugh at you in the background. Because how can somebody mug you off? And then you carry on bombarding them with gifts. All of these emanated from emotional blackmail. The sentiments that have been forced down your lungs from childhood, because you manage to then convince yourself you're the victim of circumstance. You convince yourself that you still owe them. You owe them what exactly? Let me take a sip of my coffee here, man. These are people that if they have the opportunity to do even worse, oh, they will. You see what I'm saying? Those are the siblings that at the very extreme end of things can conspire to take you out if they have the avenue. Now, there's been several horror stories, particularly with people that live in the diaspora and stuff. And what tends to happen is when some of these friends and or families, when they've committed these type of atrocities, particularly on the large scale they were meant to build for you, they've stolen tons of money from you. They desperately want to cover their tracks. They have the audacity to get angry that you found out and you are asking for a refund or you're not going to back down. Understandably so. They go from 0 to 100 very quickly, faster than the speed of light. What do I mean? They're not even saying, oh, right, you know what, man? You got me. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I know I messed up. Here is a payment plan. I'll pay you back or whatever. I'm talking hypothetically. They would never say that. They have the audacity. They will grow horns. And the next thing they are thinking of is to take you out. There's been horror stories of so many people like that. I heard of one where somebody sent this to me, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind at the time to do that story, where a woman here in the UK, it was a relative that sent me that story, said she went home and went home to Ghana, found out that family had done her dirty, uncles, siblings, they wasted a lot of our resources and stolen money and some of our lands and all that. And she faced them, challenged them. Her husband was here in the UK. Husband was calling, leave it, jump on the plane. She said, I worked all my life for this. You cannot blame these people. It's painful, like I said earlier. Something that you worked for, and it's not always easy to gain closure and to say, oh, somebody's stolen £20,000 from you. It's gone down the drain. Oh, you're just going to snap your fingers and pick another £20,000 tomorrow morning. It's a lie. Some people never get to recover. They never get to recover. And also, depends on, the age band you're in, depends on stuff like that. Maybe some 5, 6, 7, whatever years ago, you were a bit more agile. Now you might even have underlying health problems, knee problems, back problems. Something's happened and you might not have the agility as you did in the years prior to be able to grind and pull in more money or whatever. I've seen that happen. And that major, particularly financial loss, forces a lot of people into depression. Because like you say in Yoruba, how do I start all over again? What do I do? Who do I go to? It's hard, man. It's cold out here in the West. It's hard. I heard the story of someone that had savings, took a major bank loan here in the UK. A husband also took some bank loan. They added everything together. They had this wonderful business idea. I always say the problem is not the business idea. There are numerous business ideas that are very, very lucrative in Africa. It's not the business idea. The problem is implementation. It's the people behind the implementation. It's the people that you put your bank loan and your money and the bloody blah, and you dump it into their hands. Listening to this very brief story from this brother, because he's my dad. Don't do it, oh. Reminds me of another story where a brother told me that he wanted to go into catfish business with his father in Nigeria. The father had retired. He had a few, 3-4 millions or whatever, right? So he wanted to join hands with his brother that watches my channel, his son. And so the guy just said, Dad, I don't mind joining hands with you. You can build a catfish business, pond together. That's a brilliant idea. You're back home and all that. This is where the problem started. Simply because the guy said, Dad, I'm going to get lawyers, involved. We're going to have a business account, register this properly, and we'll get a lawyer involved to draw contracts. We have money in the business account. Every expenditure has got to be accounted for, reconciled. We're going to do it properly. The dad got furious. And the dad said to him, how dare you? What do you take me for? Like, why would anybody get angry at the fact that you, their son, have simply suggested that, Dad, let's have lawyers and contractual agreement involved for the benefit and protection of both parties involved? Why would your father get angry? So that means the man had sinister intentions over buying, over Dowari, over Fashumo. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the guy said, he told his father, and he said, Dad, let's get lawyers involved. And dad then alluded to, oh, you're being disrespectful. Oh, because you've lived abroad. Oh, now he starts to say stuff about, you've adopted the white people's. What's that got to do with white people? What does that? Just nonsense. What's that got to do with white folks? Oh, you're westernized. You can now tell your own father. So you're asking me to sign it. In fact, the fact that I'm going to get that type of response for you, let's call off the business, man. The long and short is, in most cases, it's better off that you don't do these businesses with family members. When you employ your younger brother or your older brother, very rarely, some families might claim to say, oh, it's a family-owned business, we're doing well. Very rarely. There are a few, very, very minute few cases, right? For the most part, when you employ family members, your cousins, your this, your that, it's sentiments. There's always sentiments. There's a sense of entitlement. When they're not pulling their weight, as you will tell off a regular employee, you try to correct them, they start looking at you funny, like, really? So if your dad is handling a particular part of the business and your dad is underperforming or your mom is underperforming, now there's a difference between you being obnoxious and blatantly disrespecting them. That's not what we're saying. But you're telling your dad, dad, look, you're not doing XYZ properly. This is affecting the performances of the business and stuff. And he's looking at you like, oh. So you're talking to me like that. That's why you need to avoid it. Don't do business with them, man. Only we go. There's a truckload of these stories. Protect yourself is all I'm saying. Protect yourself. Keep families far away. Protect yourself. This whole idea of you live abroad, there's a giant tree in your backyard that sheds money on a daily basis. It's just all these sentiments that they feel entitled So what? You hear these things infuriate me a lot. So what if I steal the money? What do you mean, so what? You hear this all the time. You set up a business, you give a taxi to your father, and you are afraid to subject your father to accountability in the best interest of the business. You failed. You've done yourself a major disservice. What did your father do? He showed you that he has a blatant disregard for you. He took your funds, your earnings, without consulting you. He diverts the money and gives it to your older brother. In fact, let me say this before I close, before I drop shutters on this, right? Sadly, there's a very ugly practice from where I emanated from in Africa. And some of you are watching this, and I'm sure you'd agree with me. Sadly, this is a very toxic practice in a lot of African families. So take, for example, depending on how your father, for example, has led his life. So let's say you then travel abroad or whatever. As you grow older and you start to see a bit of money and all that. Let's say your dad is just like, he's retired now. He worked as a civil servant and he doesn't really have much. He's pretty, he's retired, he's older now, but he hasn't got much money, not much assets and stuff. You've then traveled and stuff. This is prevalent. So I've got to say this. There's always this deeply rooted jealousy when fathers and mothers, when they see that their children starting to do well. Now, in your mind, you would expect your parents to celebrate you. They might say it verbally that they are happy for you, that, oh, you're making XYZ progress. For most of them, it's a lie. Because you are like a reflection of them. You're like a reminder of what they couldn't do. Now, you're not responsible for their failings. You are a reminder for what they didn't achieve or what they couldn't achieve. So they want to apply these sentiments. That's why some of these devious African parents, they are very heartless. They have the audacity that if you as a son, particularly imagine someone like me as a son, in some of these our families in Africa, fam, your mom is not going to be happy that you're building your house. You've owned a couple of lands and your father owns no land. Now, listen to me. It's not your fault that your dad arrived in the evening part of his life, made bad decisions about his own personal finances all through his life. You now, as a young adult in your prime, they then they would use emotional blackmail to try to say, only rally from daddy, and oh, why can't you buy a parcel of land first for your dad? I've heard it, I've seen it severally, where they become very jealous and vindictive. So if you show up today, tada, mom and dad, I've just built a 4-bedroom duplex or 4-bedroom bungalow, this and this and this. There is deeply rooted resentment. There is jealousy. There's anger in them. Because you know why? Your father has not built a 4-bedroom bungalow or duplex. Yes, he's not going to say to your face, like, but watch them. Look at them closely. Look at the body language. Ask your father to come to your building site. Come and have a look, or maybe he wants to say a word of prayer. Look at the body language. Some of them would even find unscrupulous ways to use other family members to say, let your mom and dad move in. And that's where, now I'm not saying don't put your mom and dad in whatever properties you own. Hey, you're an adult. That's where the entrapment begins for some of you, because they've got their eyeballs on the property. Some of you, in the name of sentiments, you take your property document, your CFO, and all the vital documents. You don't say, Mom, help me keep it. Bang! Àṣìṣe ò ní bá ẹ o. Ò ní fọwọ́ ara ẹ ṣera ẹ o. Right? They will conspire. They will find ways, especially if you still live in the West. They will find ways to sabotage you. Take it from me. Protect those vital documents. They shouldn't even know the color of your land or property related document. Mom, dad, brother, help me keep this document. You set yourself up, man. Somebody said, you guys keep saying African parents. These things happen in every culture too. Ask them. They will let you know. Listen, blessing, I am not refuting your claim that this doesn't happen in other cultures. Look at me, man. What do you see in your screen? You're looking at a black man, a well-melanated black man. Look at this channel. What do you think? What's the 99.9% of people watching? Blacks. Okay? So when we narrow this down, let's talk about us. Let's talk about what's going on in our community, how we better our lives. I don't care about the white people's community, right? For reference's sake, I might refer to them one or two times, or the Asian community. Look at me, I'm a black man. I'm sure you're black like me. Don't sit here and be talking on behalf of other communities. Well, what's the benefit in that for us? Where is that taking us? Of course, I have never said that any type of crime or any of these atrocities are exclusive to the black community, but we are looking at it from our point of view. If you have families back home and you live in the West, blessing, you're going to send your money to your families where? In Africa. You're not going to send your money to Pakistan, because I'm sure you don't have family in Pakistan, right? So look inwardly. We're trying to deal with the toxicity that we have within our communities and see how to unpack, how to get better, how to educate ourselves, all right? Especially for those Bible thumping parents who keep saying, mother, father we have our own, stills rubbed, you high and dry. Of course. So the long and short of what I'm saying is, if your father didn't deem it fit to save for his retirement, I'm not saying give them whatever you can afford, but thank you, Afalake Owoduni. Thank you for the super chat. Sometimes you have to keep your good news to yourself. It's not everybody that's genuinely happy for you. Bullseye. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Very powerful statement. The mistake people keep making is it's our culture. It's our society. It's a lie. We were born into that scam. I'm trying to educate at least one person here. Oh, a fairly weary. You want to see crazy? Jiggy jiggy. Over time, man, I'm gonna tell you some personal things. I'm a for sure brother. Raw, no filter, no sugar coating. You understand me? If at least one person is watching this and one person learns and one person adjusts, one person takes something, trust me, I call myself Phrankleen the emancipator. The universe has appointed me to emancipate my own people. This is what I'm saying, man. I don't care about no white folks. Am I white? I'm a black man. All right? So I use my voice to add value. Doesn't mean I'm an epitome of knowledge. All right? I'm also learning. But believe me, if one person learns, I think I would have done an amazing, amazing job by effectively using my platform positively. Trust me. Hours of coffee. You get what I'm saying? So I put that disclaimer. Nobody's saying, oh, Phrankleen, are you saying, hey, yo, just don't throw in sentiments. Like I was saying earlier, if you build a house, you call your mom. Like, you come to me and say, Phrankleen, I want to buy this Adron Homes. I want to invest. This is what I'm telling you, man. Invest. You're trying to buy lands and stuff. You must better your life. This is you existing. Some of you, maybe you run your mouth like a bathroom tap. You tell your father and mother, you've got these lands with Adron Homes. You have 3, 4, 5, 6 plots of land in Nigeria now. Oh, you're laying blocks and stuff. And you expect that just because your mother carried you for 9 months, I'm not suggesting that your mom is a monster. But before we use the mom label, she's a human being like you. She's capable of being jealous. Your father is absolutely capable of criminality because they're humans. You tell your father, you go, oh, I've got these 5, 6, 7 parcels of land. What you got? Why are you worried? Oh, you're going to see crazy. And then your siblings, your older brothers, your sisters, yeah, everyone's counting. You got lands there. You got that investment there. You got that building over there. Oh, yeah, because it's my dad. You're joking. You're joking, blood. They will conspire. Facts. They would then, so you then put your affairs into their hands. They would then start putting fucking knife into your affairs and say, that's a bit too much. You've already got 3, 4 lands. Are you the only person? Forgetting the fact that you broke your back into smithereens. You're working long hours in the West. You're dealing with daily microaggression, racism, all sort of ill treatments, bills, name it. You discipline yourself. You put all those funds together. You earned it. Nobody give you anything for free. They will destroy you. They will pull you down several pegs. That's why they have the audacity. Yes, I spent the money. Go and get your police. Come and get me arrested. Timba shape with for you joking. That's all I'm saying, man. If your mother in a prime sabotaged her own marriage, her own relationship with your father, some of them, they are Bible thumping Christians today. They would never tell you the truth about their lives. A lot of your parents are going to carry their secrets into the grave. Today they don't wear makeups. They are the front row of churches and mosques. You think they are perfect human beings. It's a lie. It's because time has caught up with them. There are some mothers, the only reason why you grew up and you never knew your father was because your mom was promiscuous. And they would, till they go to the grave, they would never tell you the truth. The only thing they couldn't shag was the silencer of every car that's parked on the streets. And those mothers, so you now, maybe in your adulthood, you meet a man that your relationship works well. You're living happily. You have 1 or 2 children. Your mother is jealous that you have a good relationship. She would do everything and anything to sabotage that relationship. Now, I tie this back to what I normally say. Keep your business to yourself. So if your mom was that woman in a youngin where every brother got to smash her to dust, right? She was pounded to dust. She jumped in bed with several men. You know, you've got 4 siblings, but you're not even sure who is whose dad, if you share the same dad, because they lied to you. And then you let sentiments take over, and that woman gains ground within the confines of your own marriage. You're done. She will destroy it because she wants what you've got, but you wouldn't know that. She will pretend like she's on your side. Then you Mom, my husband, he has not slept with me in 2 weeks. Just because I talked to him about money for the children to go to Disney. Why are you telling your mom that nonsense? Why? Why can't you sit your partner down and trash it out? You think your mom's going to give you a reasonable advice? Oh my baby Jenny. You get the idea, right? You apply for a visa for your dad to come on holiday to the UK. He sees your house. He sees you got a good job. You're an IT consultant. You're earning £400-500 a day. You know, dad's retired now. Bones are weak and feeble. You're doing pretty well for yourself. Forgetting the fact that you've gone through racism and all sorts. You worked hard to earn everything that you've got. There's resentment inside. There's resentment inside. You then put money in their hands regarding the project. Dad, can you help me do? They will divert your money. They will take the piece out of you. There's so many people that they can't even see it. There was a lady that told me, she told her dad, Dad, I bought a land. I want to start building. The father kept quiet, waited for her to come to Nigeria on holiday, and they sat her down. Suddenly, there's a family meeting. My brother, you've done very well. You've done very well. You know, that's life is really good in the UK, very good. But it's a taboo. You must not build for yourself. You know, you must build for your father before you build yours. This house that you want to, you know, you must build for your father, and the blessings must. Excuse me. Excuse me. So the long and short, they bring all sorts of dodgy people within the family. They put you in the middle. The father wants an unscrupulous means to basically steal for his own selfish gratification, forgetting that in your old age you're meant to pass it on to the generation behind you. There's a difference between your children are giving you whatever upkeep they can give you monthly. That's different. If you can afford it, that's fine. They would simply say, because you are the last born or second to the last born, oh, your older brother is not doing well in life because he's the firstborn. So they use that as a justifiable reason to fleece you, to subject you to criminality. And then you're still saying mommy and daddy. You're sending them a truckload of money. For what exactly? You know, that's why some people here, they don't get it. They think, oh, Phrankleen is too cold-blooded, you know, I'm too harsh. And let me tell you, man, away from the lights, camera, action, let me tell you the truth. Apart from you lovely people, when you watch my channel, you show me love, you know, super chat and whatnot, which I don't take for granted. But let the truth be told, man. I also have my cross to bear in life. You know what I mean? There's nobody giving anybody anything. The little that I have, that if I manage to put anything together, if I don't sit down and use this brain and protect the little that I have, and I allow sentiments that because somebody is my mom or my dad, nah, man. That's all I'm saying. So many lives, man, especially us that live in the diaspora. The stories are endless. I'll see gentlemen and ladies older than me, people in their late 40s, people in their 50s, even up to 60s. There's a woman that told me the other day that she's 61 this year. And she said she hasn't spoken to her younger sister in 9 years. I said, why? She said the younger sister stole a lot of money that was meant to go towards building 9 years ago. Said her mother covered the tracks of the younger sister, and said this woman here, who's 61, can go to blazes. So what if she stole your money? She's your sister. You see that mother planted the seed of enmity, and the younger sister is actually still thinks she's the business. This is somebody that blatantly stole from you. This woman said, now the bit that struck me said, Phrankleen, it took me nearly 4 years or 4.5 years to recover from that financial loss. Did you hear what I said? Some people never get to recover. One major blunder, somebody claims you out of your resources. Otonia, you're done. Toast. So that's me done. Let me play you one more video. Adron Homes, if you joined us later, thank you for stopping by. All I'm saying in a nutshell, the end note for this, so we drop a shutter on this, is don't be governed by sentiments. All right? Lastly, I'll say it one more time, because some of our people, they like to take things out of context. They will wrap their sky god around it and say, this guy is actually asking me to throw my mom and dad in the dustbin. If that's the way you see it, that's fine. Okay? All I'm saying is, think about you. Be selfish about you. Protect your resources, especially if you've got children, you've got your own family. Think about in fact, if you're still young, your bones are still strong, think about your retirement from now. Don't wait till your 60s. There's nobody that's going to show you love. There's going to come a time when arthritis might kick in, when your joints are not as strong as they used to be. If you let sentiments kick in the name of pleasing mom, dad, or siblings, oh, I'm not in your old age. So like I was saying, all right, this segment is sponsored by Adron Homes. I am an agent, all right? If you're interested, there's an ongoing fantastic offer to own parcels of land back in Nigeria. Send an email to Food Channel 1960. Let me play you the last video, and then we close shop on this. So, there you go. If you're interested in owning parcels of land, there's 20% offer going on. It's very easy. You can own a parcel of land from as little as 25,000 naira deposit, and you can pay within 12 months or 24 months. All right, there's a 20% discount, 30% discount, and a maximum of 40% discount. Trust me, it doesn't get any better than that. All right, and my job is I'll be your agent. Like I said, you will pay into the business account of the organization. My job is to liaise, reconcile your payments, get all the necessary paperwork for you and all that. If you have any questions, bombard me with them, all right? And I will do my very best to make sure that everything is clear and stuff. I look forward to doing business with you. Come into my inbox at foodchannel1960@gmail.com and let's see what we do together. It's your boy Phrankleen. If you want to send me your stories, you can also send the stories to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Thank you, House of Coffee. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, everybody that's listened. And